So welcome to my channel. My name is Norma Balewe, and today I just want to talk about a novel that I wrote. So in November 2021, I participated in NaNoWriMo and I wrote 50,000 words in 30 days. So I just wanted to share my progress and how it's been since then, what have I been doing on the novel. So if you don't know what NaNoWriMo is an abbreviation that stands for National Novel Writing Month. So it's like a program / competition / event where writers all over the world just sit down in the month of November and say that they're going to write a 50,000 word novel throughout the month of November. So you're supposed to write 1,667 words per day. So last year November, I participated my very first time and I actually completed it. I wrote 50,209 words in November. But the thing about NaNoWriMo is it's not like an actual competition. Like there's no prize money, there's no winner, there's no gain basically for completing your word count goals. So I know I want to 50,000 words in 1 month. Is that not like torture? Like why would somebody want to put themselves through that? People have different reasons for participating. It's a unifying thing. Writers all over the world, they sit down in their rooms, they try to manage their time so that they can write their 50,000 words in a month. Like I don't think I've ever heard of any other program where other people do that. Probably obviously there'll be other things like that where people in the same industry all over the world try to do a common goal. But NaNoWriMo, you can see how sweet it is when all over the world you are seeing people writing the same thing you're writing. It motivates you. It's a kind of push because you say you're a writer and you're seeing that writers all over the world are participating in NaNoWriMo. So you feel unified. Like this is a group, a clique. I can't count how many times that I've met a writer. Maybe I just bring up NaNoWriMo and I realize, oh wow, they participated in NaNoWriMo too. You just find things in common because even if you're a writer, there's some things that you will not experience until you have participated in NaNoWriMo. Only somebody that's participated in NaNoWriMo can understand how hard it is to write 50,000 words in 30 days. So once you have found a common ground and you're discussing about you guys just grow closer. So it's a very unifying thing. Then people that have wanted to write, once they hear of this thing, NaNoWriMo, okay, people are writing and everybody that is a writer is writing. Even if they've not written before, they want to at least try. And the other thing about NaNoWriMo is that it's a challenge. Once you first hear 50,000 words in 30 days, you're like, hey, not me, I beg. But the more you think about it, you're like, can I actually do it? And maybe you now decide, okay, let me try. So I participated in NaNoWriMo last year with a few friends, and most of the time we wrote separately. But a few days in that month, we came together and we just wrote to try to achieve our 50,000 word goals. So as I said before, I finished with 50,209 words on that November 30th because I was towards the end, I was already losing motivation and I was scared that I was not going to finish. But I pulled through and I actually finished. So the plan was to start editing it by December, and by January, I will give beta readers to read and give me feedback. So I'll work on the feedback, and once I was done editing maybe 2 or 3 times, I would send it out to publishers by March. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's March. And I'm like, what kind of ambitiousness was that? If you're not going to make it, even if you're going to make it, it was going to be rubbish work you're going to send. So I started editing in December actually, and I realized that editing a novel is not an easy task. So the thing is that I've written for a majority of my life, but I've written mainly novellas, short stories, and the only novel that I ever wrote before the one I wrote in November was a novel I started in April and finished in October. So I've never actually sat down to edit a large body of work. So I was just thinking that it was going to be a short story. When you write a 1,000 word short story, you just edit for a few things and a few grammar flaws and everything. And you think that's how it's going to be for a novel. So that's what I was going in with the mentality. The thing is that people spend 2-3 years working on a novel. See me thinking that I can finish my novel in 5 months and submit it out to publishers. So the more I edited, the more I realized Norma, this your submission date, you're gonna have to push it a few more months / years. So I realized that there were some useless chapters, like see me thinking that okay, I've written with my sweat and blood, that I will not be able to delete a single thing unless it's like really necessary. I'm deleting chapters because they were so useless, and there were characters without depth, and there were plot holes. So I decided that okay, Norma, take a break. Like, you don't need to rush through this again. You already know you're not going to make it by March. So far, I've only edited the first 3 chapters, and I edited it and printed it out so that I can see what it looks like in physical copy, because sometimes you're reading something on your laptop, on your phone, and you don't really notice it the way that you see things if you're reading a hard copy. So I printed it out, and this is it. The name of the novel is Oge's Custodian, and it's supposed to be a psychological thriller. And that was another thing about the story. Like, see me thinking that I was going to be able to write a psychological thriller on the first try, and it's not thrilling. It's not giving any thrills. Like, there's no suspense. It's just more like a plain drama. So I also need to work on that. I'm sharing my journey partly because I want to document it and see where I was at this time of my life. Maybe 5 years from now, if I eventually publish the novel, I want to see how I got here, because obviously there's some things that I'm not going to remember 5 years from now. And partly because Camp NaNoWriMo is starting in April. Camp NaNoWriMo is just like NaNoWriMo, but instead of 50,000 words, you pick the word count. So I'm not participating in Camp NaNoWriMo because I have a lot of things that I want to do, and I've decided that I'm going to take my time in editing the book. I've actually finished the novel, but I've already said plot holes and things to add, and even though I wrote 50,000 words, that's like a very, very short story. Some people might not even classify it as a novel. So I'm aiming to hit 80,000 words. I just don't know when. So I'm giving myself the whole year to be able to finish the novel to the way I like it. Because there's some stories that you read, some movies that you watch, and you're like so impressed. Especially psychological thrillers, because they're not easy to do. They're not easy to do. And I want to give what I've been getting. So Camp NaNoWriMo is starting in April. If you want to write something, if I've always wanted to write something, a story or whatever, I feel like you should join Camp NaNoWriMo. If you want to find people who are participating in Camp NaNoWriMo, there are people all over the internet that are sharing their journeys. People are posting daily that, okay, day 1 of Camp NaNoWriMo, I wrote 2,000 words. So you find them on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. I remember during NaNoWriMo, I was checking Twitter every single day, just reading people. People were just sharing their word count goals. There are people that have reached 120,000 words in November. I don't know where they got their strength from, but it was like a very gingering. When it was hard for me to continue, I was just going through tweets and I was just reading, and I was like motivated again. So if you want to participate in NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo, then you should check on Twitter, check on Instagram, check on YouTube, and there'll be people that will be posting every single day about their word count goals. On YouTube, there will be people that will be hosting live streams. So if you want to write, you join them to write. This is for you if you want to write something, but you just needed that push. So this is your sign. So we've come to the end of the video. If you want more writing content, then let me know. Let me know in the comments, what do you want me to talk about on this channel about writing? Then you should subscribe so that if I post a new video, you see it. So subscribe and like this video. Tell the algorithm that this video actually was helpful and interesting. So till next time.